Wisconsin's chances in the CFP. So, with this segue, let's move into the college football playoff rankings. So, huge week last week. Big Miami upset with Pitt. I am ecstatic about that as a Florida State fan. So, because I was really thinking, there's a thorn in this football. Yeah, this has got to go. This is gross and disgusting. But anyway, so a big week last week, and we have new Alabama with a huge upset also. Well, it wasn't a huge upset, it was against Auburn, but Alabama, number 1 undefeated. That's a big deal. So we have Clemson at number 1, Auburn at number 2. Auburn's at number 2. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Auburn's at number 2. That's crazy. Oklahoma at number 3, Wisconsin at number 4, Alabama at 5, Georgia at 6, Miami at 7, Ohio State at 8, Penn State at 9, USC at 10. I'm going to say TCU at 11 because they are, but also UCF at 14. Those are all the teams that I think can make the playoff. And here's why. Actually, 14 is kind of a joke, but I'll get back to that. As for your chances, as Wisconsin's chances, let me see. Wisconsin should be playing Ohio State, right? Yeah. So number 4 Wisconsin versus number 8 Ohio State. Obviously Wisconsin's undefeated. They're already number 4. If you can beat Ohio State, you should be good. If you do not beat Ohio State, you will not make it. That's it. That's my prediction, if you want to call it that. So Wisconsin is 12-0, which is everything that you could hope for. The problem is Wisconsin hasn't really played anybody. So Wisconsin's really kind of a wild card, which is probably why they're number 4. They're the only team that's undefeated in the top 4, and they're number 4. It's because strength of schedule. So if you guys can pull, beat Ohio, let me see what the chances are. Ohio State is 10-2 and they're number 8. ESPN says that Ohio State has a 64.8% chance, leaving Wisconsin a 35.2% chance at winning. So not great odds from ESPN. As a Florida State fan, I am rooting for Wisconsin all the way, because if Wisconsin wins and everybody else does, Miami cannot make the playoffs. So that's why I'm rooting for you guys. Do I think you can do it? I'm not gonna say, because whenever I predict things, they do not go well. So, but just know I'm rooting for you. Those are the ESPN odds. But Ohio State is a good team, and they've had pretty good losses, I'm pretty sure. Ohio State has lost to, they beat Michigan. They lost to Iowa, so not great. And they beat Penn State, which is awesome for them. Ohio State's a good-looking team, but they are a 2-loss team, so you do have the undefeated mentality going into it, but Ohio State looks pretty strong. But anyway, Clemson, Miami, this is a huge game. This is game day. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest game of the week. ACC is super strong, so Clemson, Miami. Obviously, if Clemson wins, Miami can't be in the playoff, and Clemson will stay in. But if Miami wins, then we have a problem on our hands. Alabama's number 5. Auburn is playing Georgia for the SEC championship. Those are the two biggest games. Auburn, Georgia. I've seen a lot online. UCF, University of Central Florida. They are 11-0, and let me tell you, as a college football fan, I am behind these guys 100% of the way. They are the biggest underdog story in recent history. 2 years ago, they had 0 wins. They had a complete losing season, and this, like, 2 years later, they had one season in between that. They are undefeated, and they are in the rankings from I believe they're a Sun Belt team, or in the Sun Belt Conference. I'm not positive on that, but UCF, I'm behind you guys, but you just haven't proved it this year. You've only played one ranked game. They've got Memphis. So the argument is, if everybody above them loses and they beat Memphis, do they make it in? I'm sorry, but no, you don't. There's too many good teams this year. You've got the top 9: Clemson, Auburn, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Alabama, Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, Penn State. You could all make it before UCF does. But let me tell you what UCF can do. If they keep this up, next year they're going to start ranked, and they can absolutely make the college football playoffs if they go undefeated again next year. But it's not in the cards this year. But great on UCF for turning things around. Super proud of you guys, if that means anything at all to you. But UCF is I'm really, really happy for you. But that's what the playoffs are looking like. So Clemson is my second favorite team. My brother went to Clemson, so obviously I'm going to be cheering for Clemson as an ACC fan, as a Clemson fan, as a Florida State fan, to beat Miami. I was talking to my brother, and he was saying that the only team that he's nervous about is Alabama. If Alabama makes the playoffs and plays Clemson, they're coming out for blood. They're out for revenge, with Clemson winning the national championship over Alabama last year. So that would be an interesting thing to see, but hopefully Clemson will have to deal with any of that. Again, no predictions here. I'm not cursing anything. My predictions don't go well. So I'm not predicting anything with that. I'm just saying that I'm hoping for Clemson. But also Wisconsin. You got the one game. One game means everything. Is this Ohio State game? So that's the college football playoff. That's what it's looking like so far. So this is, if you've been meaning to watch some football and you just haven't gotten around to it, this is the drama. This is where all the hype is. Who makes the playoffs? So definitely be watching this week. I know that I will. Also, as a Florida State fan, something interesting's happened with Florida State. Let's just go over that real quick. So, Florida State is currently tied for the longest bowl streak in history. So, at the end of a season, if you have 6 wins, you're eligible to play in a bowl game. And these bowl games are just post-season games for fun, I guess. The people have been saying that the playoffs have been ruining them because they used to mean something that now they're kind of like trophies, I guess. But anyway, so Florida State has been going to bowl games for the past 35 years. That means that for the past 35 years they've had at least 6 wins, which is really hard to do. And they're tied with, I believe it's Nebraska. I might be wrong on that. But if they go to a bowl game this year, they will hit 36 and be the number 1 in history. And this year was our worst year in a while. Usually by now you would know if you're bowl eligible. Everybody else does. Everybody else knows. But Florida State has 5 wins. But since the hurricane came through, we had to postpone one So